Hello everyone, welcome to Angling News Week. I'm joined today by Barney Wright, who's the editor of Total Sea Fishing, as well as being a good friend of mine. Now you'll note from the page that we've got 10 questions about Barney that he's answered, and I've got a few little optional extras that I thought I'd put to him as well. So I'm going to start, Barney, by asking you, what's the strangest thing you've ever caught a fish on?
The strangest thing I've ever caught a fish on? Cool, I wish I had a bit more time to think about it. This is actually quite a good question. I've caught them on bare hooks when retrieving. In fact, even better, I've got one better than that. I was practicing my casting on a beach before the European Open Beach Championship and slinging the lead out with the hooks on and everything, and I reeled in, and as the lead came out of the surf, I thought, what's that flapping around in the surf? And I'd actually hooked a sole with the grip wire on the lead. So I think that's probably quite a new one for most people, actually catching it on the lead. So as I was just retrieving, I must have picked it up off the seabed and dragged him in. It wasn't big, it was that big. Needless to say, I didn't try to weigh him in.
That's brilliant. Something's probably not even actually caught on a hook, caught on a bit of wire that comes off the lead, wasn't it?
That's right, the grip was, yeah.
Then move on to that. What's the strangest thing that you've ever caught?
Several strange things, but they're usually associated with drifting past wrecks, and you come up with all kinds of strange things. Your gear gets hooked into the lump of the wreck, and you come up with goodness knows what weird-looking creatures that I've never seen before. And not always fish, obviously, but when you do hook into the wreck, you have to break it free, and if your gear's tough enough, up comes a lump of HMS, whatever it is. But other than that, nothing really weird, just bits of metal that's got weird, creepy crawlies and odd starfish on it.
Definitely. Obviously, you've sort of travelled the world in pursuit of catching sea fish of all shapes and sizes. What would you say the nicest place you've ever been would be, sea fishing?
Do you know what? You won't believe this, but my favourite place of all is Herm Island, which is a channel island just off of Guernsey, it's about, I don't know, a few miles off on the east side of Guernsey. And I go there annually, and to be quite honest, the fishing there is quite Mediterranean. You're catching bass and bream, black bream and gilt-head bream and everything like that, and you're wading out in areas. The whole area uncovers for maybe a mile because of the huge tide range. They're the second biggest tide range in the world. Or is it? No, it's not. That's a Bristol Channel. No, it's a very high tide range anyway. And when the tide's out, you go chase the water right out and you fish it right back, and you have hours and hours and lots of fun with it.
If you could go fishing with anybody, who would it be? Obviously, man or woman.
Who would it be? Oh, interesting. I never even thought about that. I never even thought about any of these questions, but I would actually say it's my old hero, Dave Dockra. Right. He was a real mentor to me years ago, and he taught me to cast. I've answered this in your other questions too, but it'll have to be him because he taught me to ground cast, which got me into where I am today. And his knowledge is second to none. He's quite a remarkable chap. And years ago, I was thinking about buying his shop, but sadly didn't. And I haven't caught up with him for a while. But yeah, he'd be someone I'd like to go fishing with again some stage. And I wouldn't mind if I went freshwater fishing with him too, because he does a lot of that. He's a very good freshwater angler in his day too.
Definitely.
Not sure if he represented England or not. I think there is a record of it, but or the Nationals or something. But he's just an all-round great angler.
Yeah, I spoke to him myself a few weeks ago. I think he gave me his number. He's a really nice bloke.
Definitely. Oh, that's right. Yes. Definitely.
Obviously, a lot of the sea fish that you catch are edible. What's your favourite dish, would you say?
My favourite dish is, it can be any fish, but generally it'll be haddock or halibut. And what happened is when I started going to Norway, I was shown a way to cook the fish, which is the secret to the fish. And it's a shallow frying in breadcrumbs and a little secret ingredient called lemon pepper, which you can only buy in Norway. And subsequently, every time I go over there, I bring the stuff back with me because you can't get it anywhere else. And after you shallow fried these goujons of fish, and it could be anything, the flavour of the fish is really brought out. And if it's something like halibut or haddock, it is mind-blowingly good.
Right. Well, I've saved the wackiest question till last because, as you'd expect.
Wacky?
No, I've got one even wackier for you, Barney. If you had to describe yourself as a species of fish, what species of fish would you be and why?
Sorry, that's incredible. What species of fish would I be? I think I'd have to be a pelagic, cruising the oceans, so I do like to have a look around. I don't see myself as a bottom feeder, or a pond line, as a cod or something like that. But I'd like to think that I don't know, some kind of a shark, not an angry shark, not a predatory, well, there's only one kind of shark that's predatory, but not one of the nasty ones that people are afraid of, but cruising the oceans, just minding my own business, making sure I don't get caught by people like me. But I think, yeah, a bit of a nomad.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. Well, Barney, as always, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much. And if you want to read more about this great man, check out his magazine, Total Sea Fishing. Thank you. I'll see you next week.